Whoa. Hi everyone. I am Goldie. This is the Goldie Shack. And we're going to take a little bit of time. Too much time for social media, but due to popular demand on social media, which means like 10 people want to know what happened to me many years ago in Lebanon. I'm half Lebanese, and I went for the first time in 2006 to go to my cousin's wedding. And beautiful event planned, bunch of family coming in from a few different countries. And, what could go wrong?
Israel has intensified its attacks on Lebanon as warplanes launched fresh strikes on Beirut airport, on communication networks, and on a power plant. More than 60 Lebanese civilians have been killed in the offensive, which follows the capture of 2 Israeli soldiers by Hezbollah.
Well, there could be a border skirmish between Israel and Hezbollah, and all your exits to the country could be blocked off 5 days after I got there. It turned into a few weeks of fiasco, bombings by the Israeli military, and I don't know how to make this fun for social media. You guys having fun? I hope so. To make a long story short, the U.S. military, every country had to evacuate their own citizens from a war zone, because that's what Lebanon was in 2006. That's what it's been quite a few times before and after. So the U.S. military evacuated us with a Vietnam-era helicopter. I mean, like a real clunker, like rinky-dink. Like, isn't our Pentagon budget like freaking $750 billion a year? And they send over a Chinook helicopter. A Chinook. It's like from 1968. So we're in this thing. There's like, everything's opened, and 2 helicopters are flying out of Beirut, and we were unfortunately in the first one, so we had to fly in a pair, and we were like doing these freaking loops around Beirut, in wartime, and it just felt really like a dumb move. I mean, thank God, like, the U.S. has some power in the world, although it's exerted pretty poorly. But we didn't get shot down, and we made it to Cyprus, and then we got on a couple of chartered flights, and then getting off the plane turned into a press fiasco.
As you might expect, there are a lot of foreigners and Lebanese as well who are trying to get out of danger's way in Lebanon. He was one of the first to arrive on the flights that landed on U.S. soil and joins us now in studio.
There's a lot of press there. For some reason, I was the first one off the plane.
There are obvious skeptics that kind of warned us this is dangerous, and State Department warnings that Lebanon is a dangerous place to visit, but it's also incredibly gorgeous, and this really shouldn't have happened. It's one in a long shot, and I'm gonna start playing lotto.
I was not happy. I was not happy with the U.S. Not happy with the U.S. Not happy with Israel, but there's no reason why this had to happen. And what I said when I got off the plane was, this seemed to be premeditated. It's like a little border clash. It happens all the time, and it turned into like a massive attack supplied by the U.S.
Are you scared for your family?
I'm scared for my family over there. I mean, I heard yesterday of the bombing all kinds of infrastructure, and 2 bombs went off in Juni at the TV stations. It's just funny that they're taking away everything. TV stations, cell stations. I can't get a hold of my family, and it's really frustrating to see 3 million people taken hostage.
All this whole thing's going on, pretending to like negotiate. So obviously all negotiations failed, and it was so obvious over there. Here's the thing that's super interesting. When I got to Lebanon, guess who loves the U.S.? Guess who loves George Bush? The Lebanese people. Love them. They love him. You know, so when this happened, like 5 days later, I mean, this is 5 days. I'm like, I'm not a fan of George W. Bush. You know, that's a junior one, the little guy. And until Trump came along, George Bush was pretty evil. I mean, all the Bushes are totally evil. I don't know why I keep touching my face during times of virus. By the way, this is also my face mask, which is why it's on my head, because if you were here right now, boom, you're protected, I'm protected, everything's good. And it's double layered, so keep that in mind.
I asked yesterday, why in the world would anybody with half a brain go there on a vacation? Anyway, let's go to audio soundbite number 2, because this is at a live press conference after the first plane of Americans from Lebanon landed. And here's a portion of Goldi's remarks.
I don't feel great to be back. I mean, it's knowing what's going to happen, after 3 days, after all the foreigners are out. I just don't feel great. And for some reason, nothing can stop this. And I don't know why. And it's obviously just a script that the whole world's playing along with.
A total glittering jewel of colossal ignorance. An absolute lame brain. An idiot. A stupid, dumb, uninformed, lazy, fat American who hasn't the slightest clue what he's talking about.
Rush Limbaugh plays what I say on his radio show that day. Like, don't you have anything better to do, Rush? I don't understand. And then calls me like an idiot and a lazy, fat, stupid American. So we have a song called Lazy, Fat, Stupid American.
That's you! A stupid, dumb, uninformed, lazy, fat American.
It features Rush Limbaugh. It's like him yelling at me on the phone. Like, I got really mad. I called him back like a few days later.
Goldi in New York City. You're next on the EIB Network. Hello.
Fantastic.
I'm like, this guy can't just yell at me and get away with it.
And the sea change going on because there's a whole country being destroyed. It's changed from a war on terror to taking out a whole country.
It turns out like the people that call into Rush Limbaugh or these right-wing shows are fans of Rush Limbaugh. He never gets a phone call from someone like me.
Goldi, I think I know.
Wait, 1 second. I didn't know it was on. And the other day when I called it a script that obviously the U.S. is in on the script with Israel, and then I heard a tirade from you calling me an idiot for 30 seconds for saying that, even though you just said that now, that this is all secretly the U.S. is telling Israel to keep going.
I was surprised he was even talking. I thought he was just going to yell and hang up, because that's what I always imagine, like, the Sean Hannitys of the world doing. Like, they don't really talk. They just want to hear what they want to hear, and they want to hang up on you.
Okay, Goldi, hang on. I've got a commercial break coming up. Can you hang on for 3 minutes?
Okay.
Good. We'll be back and continue with Goldi here right after this.
And that audio is on our website. Now, if you click here, I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm doing. I see people do that all the time. Click over here. I don't know. Some of the things he said were so insulting, and the phone connection was kind of like, I don't know, he had like a 1,000-watt amp on his voice and kept cutting off my mic.
We're not taking out a whole country. We're ridding a country of some vermin called Hezbollah, which is a bunch of terrorists who would kill you the first chance they got.
Well,
it's a war. It is a war. You really used the right word. War is terrible. War is
terrible, and this is a war against terrorists, and it's turned into a war against a country. But
the fact that you don't see any difference, that you're able to establish a moral equivalence between pure evil and decent people is shocking to me.
Rush,
actually, it's not, but sounds good to say it.
Anyway, that's in a nutshell, in a freaking 10-minute nutshell. Boy, social media is not going to like this. It's a shame that stuff like this happens. It's a shame that the U.S. funds wars around the world. Like, we don't have money for healthcare. We don't have money for whatever stimulus package we're passing in the coronavirus. Well, coronavirus things, like, all of a sudden we have money, but we always have money for war. We always have money for Wall Street. 2 things we have money for all the time. We never have money for regular people. Never have money for poor people. And it's really a shame, and it's a shame how fast this war popped off and how slow it was to come to a conclusion. Because even Israelis died, you know? There was a truce signed. There was a truce. And Israel did a 3-day whatever push, you know, to like, let's see how we can fuck up Lebanon, you know, or Hezbollah in the last 3 days before the truce goes into effect. And like, Israeli soldiers died during that time. Like, that is ridiculous. How would you like it if your son died or daughter died, you know, after a truce was signed for no fucking reason? It's humanity. Hear me out. You have to change. We all have to change. We have to change. You know, coronavirus is telling us something. We need to change. We can't just keep like on this economic growth and like, Israel, I'm talking to you right now. Real estate growth. You can't just keep growing your real estate. You're stealing from people. Just chill out. Farm the land that you have. Give some to your neighbors. Love thy neighbor. I mean, that's like in all of our scriptures for all of our gods, I think. I'm not a religious expert. Not religious at all, actually, because religious wars make the world go round, right? I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of war at all. Shameless plug. I'm going to show you right now. This is the newspaper from Beirut. A day after it was getting destroyed, or maybe 2 days after, it was in their main paper there. And so I grabbed a copy of this and held it over my head when I got off the airplane. And that's what started the fake tobacco with Rush Limbaugh and, you know, I guess 15 minutes of fame, right? Thanks for listening to this. And if you're listening, and if you listen to the whole thing, I really love you. It's Moxie. Moxie's like, what is going on? Moxie, I left the vacuum rag. Can you get away from the vacuum rag? See that? Everyone watching you now loves you except for that one cat eater out there who's always warm everything. Pad cores, sick. Labeler, always get a labeler, guys. Gotta label your cords and connections. Alright. That's it, we're just about done. Thanks. Love you guys. Peace out from the Goldie Shack.